All right, so today we're going to talk about the 5-number summary and how to create box plots. All right, so normally what I would have you do is in your book of knowledge, I would have you trace your hand and then we would fill this out. So if you have your book of knowledge with you, feel free to do so. You can do so in your learning journal, scratch paper, or you can just follow along. Now, a lot of the videos through grading papers, talking with students in the Google Meets, I notice a lot of students probably aren't watching a lot of the videos all the way through. They watch a few minutes and say, I got this, and turn it off. This is a video that you do need to watch the whole thing. Otherwise, you are not going to fully understand everything that we're going to cover in this video. So this one is a very important video in order to be successful in this week's work. All right, so here we go. In this hand, we have 5 digits, the thumb and the 4 fingers, and that corresponds, of course, with our 5-number summary. And so all the way here on the left, I have my minimum. And so, and we know the minimum is just a fancy word that means the smallest number, or the number with the least value. So when I put my numbers in order from least to greatest, that would be my first number. My minimum, my smallest, my least number. Then I have my maximum all the way on the other end. And my maximum, of course, is my largest number, or the number with the largest value, or the greatest. So if I put my numbers in order from least to greatest. All right, then you might guess that here in the middle I have my median. And so my median is simply my middle number. And so that's not new. And then last week we talked about 2 other medians. We talked about our quartile 1, which is a median of the lower half. So median of my lower half of my data. Or I have my quartile 3, which is my median of my upper half of my data. So it's important to note that I do have 3 medians. I have my quartile 1, median of my lower half, my median, which is my middle data number, and my quartile 3, which is a median of my upper half of my data. And as we talked about and got practice with all last week, it's very important that when we find a median, we draw a vertical line. And we'll see why we've been doing that here in just a few minutes. Now that I have my 5-number summary, my minimum, my maximum, my median, my Q1 and Q3, I can get a couple of other important pieces of information from just looking at my 5-number summary. One of which is my Q3 minus my Q1, and we call that the interquartile range, or the IQR. And so we talked about that last week. And then previous to that, we talked about the difference of my maximum and my minimum, or my maximum value minus my minimum value, and we called that the range. And so those are my 2 measures of variability, or my measures of spread, where I can see how spread apart my data is, my IQR and my range. So all of this together is going to give me a lot of really, really good information as I'm analyzing data summaries.